Human beings are not designed to handle that much pressure. And when I was talking about my experience, his face was like, I know.
Because you're gonna have her wear it, and
all right.
Yo, Ellen, we go so far back. You don't tell these people how far back we go.
I know, but I wear T-shirts. I don't know what that means. Anyway, all right, let's.
I mean.
You hold that.
Okay, well, maybe I have one at your house.
Where's that? Now, what time would your party start, let's say?
Like 9:30.
Really, that early?
Yeah.
I could make that.
Yeah.
Something about Twitch's final days doesn't sit right. And now, even more unsettling details are starting to surface. A cryptic note reportedly left behind, a mysterious voice message said to be sent to Ellen, and growing speculation linking his death to some of the most powerful names in entertainment. Ellen DeGeneres' sudden move overseas, Diddy's ongoing legal battles, and the unexplained choices surrounding Twitch's last moments all seem to raise more questions than answers. Was Twitch silenced? Did he uncover something he was never supposed to witness? And why are so many key figures distancing themselves now? As public pressure builds and connections emerge, it's time to take a closer look at what may really be going on. Inside Twitch's final hours, Stephen "Twitch" Boss was a well-known dancer and television personality who worked as the executive producer of The Ellen DeGeneres Show. He remained with the show for nearly 8 years, staying until its conclusion in 2022. People who were close to him often described him as kind and full of energy, someone who had a strong presence in any space he entered. On December 13, 2022, the news that Stephen had taken his own life was confirmed. Many were caught off guard by the announcement. In the time that followed, public speculation increased. Some social media users began linking Ellen DeGeneres to Twitch's death, while others suggested that her departure from the United States might be related. According to online commentary, she may have left out of concern that she would become involved in an investigation, especially after legal developments involving Sean "Diddy" Combs. However, these claims have not been confirmed by law enforcement. According to details shared in the Last Days podcast, Twitch left his home early on the morning of December 12th, bringing only a small bag and his handgun. He reportedly turned off his phone's tracking, took an Uber to a motel less than 2 miles from home, and checked into room 249 under his name. His wife, Allison Holker, contacted police not long after he left. She told authorities she was especially concerned because he didn't take his car and wasn't answering calls, both unusual for him. Stephen was last seen in a video posted to Instagram on December 11th, dancing, something he and Allison often shared online. 2 days later, he was found deceased in a motel room in Los Angeles. He was 40 years old. Since his death, messages of support have continued for Holker and their 3 children.
A touching message from the widow of the dancer and TV personality and inspiration to a lot of us, known as Twitch. In her first social media post since Stephen Boss' death last week, Allison Holker shared this on Instagram, a selfie of the smiling couple. Holker left a short but powerful message. "My one and only, oh, how my heart aches. We miss you so much."
With few official details made public, speculation spread quickly online. This came at a time when Ellen DeGeneres was also facing renewed public criticism related to earlier workplace allegations from her show, where Twitch had worked closely with her. Whispers behind the spotlight. In the months leading up to the death of Stephen "Twitch" Boss, The Ellen DeGeneres Show aired its final episode. The program's conclusion followed a series of public allegations that raised concerns about the workplace environment behind the scenes.
I learned that things happened here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously, and I want to say I am so sorry to the people who were affected. I know that I'm in a position of privilege and power, and I realize that with that comes responsibility, and I take responsibility for what happens at my show.
Twitch, who had been part of the show since 2014 and served as in-house DJ and later co-executive producer, was present during Ellen's apology segment. Reports have suggested that he appeared uncomfortable during that moment. The decision to include him has since drawn public attention, with some observers claiming it may have been an effort to support Ellen's image at the time. Separate from the workplace discussions, Online speculation began to emerge surrounding Ellen's alleged connections to parties hosted by music producer Sean "Diddy" Combs. It has been rumored that Twitch, through his association with Ellen, may have attended some of these events. According to these claims, he might have witnessed something that led him to step back. While there is no confirmed evidence, some believe Twitch may have attempted to distance himself, and others suggest he was prevented from speaking out. Ellen's decision to leave the United States around the same time, without making formal statements about her plans, has contributed to ongoing public curiosity and speculation. Social media users and content creators have drawn parallels between Ellen and Diddy, placing both figures at the center of online discussions about secrecy in the entertainment industry. In each case, public attention has focused on individuals who were close to them and later died in unclear or tragic circumstances.
Over a decade ago, I met someone who changed my life and our show. And I'm talking about you, Twitch. Come here.
After Twitch's passing, Ellen released a tribute video in which she said, "Hey everybody, everyone is in pain and trying to make sense of it, and we'll never make sense of it. And the holidays are hard, I think, anyway. But to honor Twitch, I think the best thing that we can do is to laugh and hug each other and play games and dance and sing." Ellen continued her tribute by encouraging others to stay close to the people they care about.
And I know it seems hard, it seems impossible, but that's how we honor him and hug each other and tell each other we love each other and let people know we're there for them.
Vanishing act or coincidence? According to multiple unverified reports, Stephen Twitch Boss left behind a note addressed to his wife, Allison Holker, before his death. In that note, he allegedly described incidents he had witnessed at private gatherings involving prominent figures. The note reportedly named individuals he once trusted, expressing concern that some, including well-known public personalities, were not who they appeared to be. Among those reportedly mentioned was Ellen DeGeneres. Some accounts claim Twitch wrote about being pressured to remain silent about what he had seen. Although the note has not been officially released, several online forums and alleged leaked messages refer to its contents. These sources suggest the note was more than a farewell. It may have served as a warning. Following this, discussion began circulating online about a voice message Twitch reportedly sent to Ellen. While the recording has never been made public, it has been referenced widely on internet forums. Some believe Allison Holker may still possess the file, while others suggest it was removed or taken following Twitch's death. When Twitch arrived at the Oak Tree Inn, he reportedly turned off his phone and checked into the motel under his own name. According to the motel manager, he never left his room after checking in. TMZ also reported the existence of a second note found at the scene, referencing earlier personal struggles, though its contents have not been made public. Actor and filmmaker Tyler Perry later opened up about his own experience with emotional crisis, sharing that he had once attempted to take his own life. He said, "I want to take you back to a time in my life where I tried to commit a couple of times. Because it was so dark, I thought the only way to make this better or this pain go away and stay in my life. Had any of those attempts happened, I would have missed the best part of my life." In 2024, not long after federal agents raided Sean "Diddy" Combs' Miami residence, Ellen DeGeneres made headlines with her announcement that she would permanently leave the United States. The timing of her departure, closely following Diddy's legal troubles, sparked online speculation about whether the two developments were connected. Adding to the public's interest was Ellen's noticeable transformation. For years, she was recognized for her signature blonde hair, but after relocating to England, she debuted a darker brunette look. The combination of her sudden move, new appearance, and lack of a formal public statement added fuel to speculation. Prue McSween of Sky News publicly commented on Ellen's departure, describing her as unpleasant based on past interactions in Australia. McSween pointed out Ellen's close association with Sean "Diddy" Combs and suggested that her sudden move to the UK could be an attempt to distance herself from unfolding developments. She also called for the release of information related to Combs' case, implying that more names, including Ellen's, might surface. Additional reports indicated that Ellen and her wife, Portia de Rossi, had sold their Montecito mansion and moved to a rural part of the United Kingdom. According to the Wrap, the couple reportedly did not plan to return to the U.S., with the 2024 presidential election results cited as the main reason for their departure. Ellen has previously been outspoken in her criticism of former President Donald Trump, so her exit was not entirely unexpected to some. However, the overlap of events, tWitch's death, Diddy's ongoing legal issues, and Ellen's international relocation has continued to stir debate across social media.
You're really bad. If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?
After settling in the United Kingdom, Ellen DeGeneres was recently spotted out with her wife, Portia de Rossi, and friends, including singer Natalie Imbruglia, at a local pub called the Farmer's Dog. TMZ reported that sources close to the couple claimed Ellen and Portia made the decision to move after Donald Trump's re-election. The couple has reportedly settled in the southwest of England, though records show the property was purchased prior to the election results. While the timing of Ellen's move and transformation drew attention online, especially given the broader context of tWitch's passing and Diddy's legal troubles, no official explanation has been provided beyond the political reasoning reported by sources. As one observer quipped, "Hey, I guess if Ellen's got a new place, why not get a new do?" tWitch's story isn't the only one raising eyebrows. Just as questions continue to swirl around his final days, another well-known figure in the entertainment world seemed to disappear from the public eye, only to resurface months later with more questions than answers. What happened to Jamie Foxx has sparked just as much speculation, and some believe the circumstances surrounding his silence may not be entirely unrelated. Jamie's silent year. Jamie Foxx was once a familiar face at parties hosted by music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. According to circulating claims, his presence at these events shifted dramatically after an incident involving a video camera. At one such gathering in the early 2000s, Foxx was reportedly recording with a large Canon shoulder camera, attempting to capture behind-the-scenes moments. At that time, Diddy was considered one of the most prominent figures in the entertainment world, and access to his private events was limited. Foxx used the opportunity to suggest documenting the scene, following Diddy closely with his equipment. It's been said this drew a negative reaction, and not long after, Foxx was no longer seen at those gatherings. Rumors suggest Foxx kept some of these recordings. In 2023, around the same time federal authorities began investigating Diddy, stories emerged that Diddy had discovered Foxx's alleged tapes. Not long after, Foxx was reported to be experiencing a serious unidentified health emergency. For nearly a year, he was absent from the public eye, prompting growing speculation across media platforms. During that period, Foxx had been working on his upcoming Netflix comedy special. In it, he is expected to speak about the health crisis that left him hospitalized for over 20 days and in recovery for several more months. Though the exact cause of his condition has not been confirmed, online chatter has linked the incident to his past association with Diddy. While Diddy's representatives have denied involvement, Foxx has not commented directly on the accusations.
But now, if you go and you look further about the number of people that have had this sudden death thing happen to them that are related to Diddy, it's like some viral lung or something, like some weird.
According to recent updates, Foxx addressed his health publicly during a stand-up performance. He shared that a doctor had informed his family that he was experiencing a brain bleed, which led to a stroke. The diagnosis was described as life-threatening. He later stated that he had been unable to walk during part of his recovery but had since regained strength. His sister Lindsay Foxx responded positively on social media, writing, "The devil is busy, but I'm too blessed to be stressed." Just a few weeks after his special aired, Foxx was reportedly injured during an altercation at Mr. Chow, a restaurant in Beverly Hills. Authorities say someone from a nearby table threw a glass, striking him in the face. Whether Foxx was directly involved in the conflict or was an unintended target remains unclear. No arrests were made, and the case is still under investigation. While nothing has been proven about who was behind either incident, some have connected the timeline between the Netflix special, the alleged tapes, and the confrontation. Observers continue to question whether these events are coincidental or connected to something more. But Jamie Foxx's story was only one piece of a larger puzzle. Just as questions swirled around his disappearance from the spotlight, a parallel courtroom drama began to unfold, one involving the very man at the center of those whispered allegations. As federal prosecutors laid out their case against Sean "Diddy" Combs, the stakes grew higher and the connections deeper. The outcome of his trial would spark public debate and leave many wondering, was this just the beginning? The jury's decision on Diddy. Sean "Diddy" Combs was found guilty on 2 federal charges in a closely watched trial that captured national attention. The verdict followed weeks of emotional testimony, intense legal arguments, and the presentation of a wide range of evidence, including video footage, sworn statements, and physical documentation. Yet despite the scope of the case, the jury chose to convict Combs on only 2 counts: the transportation of individuals across state lines, specifically his former partners, Cassie Ventura and a woman referred to as Jane, for the purpose of unlawful indecent activity. Under U.S. federal law, transporting a person with the intent that they engage in illegal indecent conduct is a serious crime. The jury's decision to convict on these 2 counts affirms that Combs knowingly participated in this act. However, the same jury acquitted him of other, even more severe charges: indecent trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and related offenses. That split verdict immediately drew both public confusion and debate. Online reaction was swift. Some users questioned how a person could be found guilty of transporting individuals for illegal indecent activity, without also being held responsible for the alleged acts themselves. One commenter wrote, "That Diddy verdict don't even make sense. LOL. How you not guilty of but guilty of prostitution transportation?" Another user added, "Yeah, it's wild. How you guilty of moving prostitutes but not guilty of sex trafficking? That's like charging someone for driving the getaway car, but saying the robbery never happened." The logic behind the jury's decision remains a point of legal and public discussion. Legal analysts note that juries often base their verdicts on the strict interpretation of legal definitions and the specific evidence tied to each charge. In this case, it's possible that jurors found the evidence sufficient to prove transportation beyond a reasonable doubt, but not strong enough, or clearly presented enough, to meet the legal thresholds for conspiracy, racketeering, or trafficking. Still, even without the heavier convictions, the consequences could be serious. Each of the 2 transportation charges carries a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison. Prosecutors have indicated they may pursue the harshest sentence possible, especially in light of the extensive allegations that emerged during the trial. This approach has been compared to the 2008 sentencing of O.J. Simpson in Las Vegas, where Simpson received a lengthy prison sentence for robbery and kidnapping, a stark contrast to his 1995 acquittal in Los Angeles. Some believe the judge in Combs's case could similarly take a strong stance in sentencing, given the public attention and overall weight of the allegations. Public commentary continues to reflect divided perspectives. In one podcast segment, a commentator said, "He used narcotics and violence to coerce people. That's evil." Another voice pushed back, stating, "I don't want to castigate the entire culture. I know many in the hip-hop industry who would never be involved in anything like this." On the other hand, a representative for Cassie Ventura stated, "We're hopeful that ultimately he receives a substantial sentence for what he's done. Cassie is in a good place and pleased that the jury has found him guilty of 2 federal crimes." Legal experts also weighed in. Some noted that taking a case like this to trial, especially against the federal government, is an enormous gamble for any defense team. In this case, the defense succeeded in securing not guilty verdicts on the most serious charges, but the 2 guilty counts still leave Combs facing potentially severe punishment, Legal analysts referred to the outcome as a partial win for the defense, while acknowledging that the full legal and reputational consequences are far from over. Combs' sentencing is currently scheduled for October 3rd at 10 a.m. He has already spent approximately 9 months in custody, having been held without bail since his arrest. His request for release ahead of sentencing was denied, in part due to concerns raised by victims and their attorneys regarding the risk of witness intimidation or retaliation. Each of the 2 convictions allows for up to 10 years in prison, and prosecutors are expected to highlight Combs' past behavior, including a 2016 hotel surveillance video that allegedly shows him physically assaulting a woman, as part of their argument for a harsher sentence. That footage, among other evidence presented in court, may play a significant role in the judge's final decision. Aside from the criminal proceedings, Combs continues to face multiple civil lawsuits tied to many of the same broader accusations. These suits remain ongoing and could result in additional financial or legal consequences, even if the criminal sentence ends up being less than the maximum. Until his sentencing hearing, Combs will stay in custody at the Metropolitan Detention Center MDC in Brooklyn, a federal facility where he has been held since first being taken into custody. While the exact length of his sentence remains to be seen, many, including victims, supporters, and critics, are watching closely to see whether the final outcome will reflect the weight of what came to light during the trial. The fear after the verdict. Following the federal trial of Sean Diddy Combs, concerns over witness safety have grown significantly. Although the jury acquitted Combs of some of the most serious charges, such as racketeering and indecent trafficking, his conviction on 2 counts of transporting individuals for unlawful purposes still carries weight and consequences. Now, as his sentencing date approaches, some of the people who came forward during the trial are asking the court to keep him behind bars out of fear for their safety. Cassie Ventura's legal team filed a formal request asking Judge Aaron Subramanian to deny Combs' bail. Her attorney, Douglas Wigdor, made it clear that Ventura believes Combs poses an ongoing danger, not only to herself but to others who testified during the case. In his letter to the judge, Wigdor stated that his client fears Combs may retaliate against those who expose details about his alleged past behavior, writing, "Ms. Ventura believes that Mr. Combs is likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including herself, as well as to the community." Joining that request was Deontay Nash, Cassie's former stylist and longtime friend. Nash also testified in the trial, recounting both personal experiences of violence and incidents he said he witnessed involving Ventura. In his letter to the court, Nash warned that Combs has demonstrated a long-standing pattern of intimidating people who speak out against him. He wrote that if Combs were to be released before sentencing, it could embolden him to repeat past behaviors, including retaliation and coercion. Nash stated that Combs' history of avoiding serious legal consequences may have reinforced a belief that he could act without accountability. According to Nash, this mindset makes him especially dangerous during the interim period before sentencing. By keeping Combs in custody, Nash believes the court would send a clear message that witness safety is a priority. In the days following the verdict, others close to the case and the industry began to weigh in.
They already knew this was going to happen. What did I say, Mighty? I said that if it goes before January the 4th, it ain't going to look good for the prosecutor. Didn't I say that? I said that means that they probably just get him on the
Gene Deal, a former associate of Combs, spoke out in an interview segment, noting that although Combs avoided the harshest charges, the information shared during the trial, including testimony from over 30 witnesses, was enough to leave a lasting impact on his public image. Deal claimed that the details revealed during the case exposed behaviors many in the industry had long suspected, but had never seen officially confirmed. Deal also commented on the timing of the trial, saying that the outcome might have been different if it had taken place later in the year. In his view, the early January deadline may have played a role in the prosecution not pursuing additional charges. Additional allegations resurfaced after the verdict. Celebrity security guard Roger Bonds, who once worked closely with Combs, reportedly claimed that Combs had ordered a hit on Gene Deal. Bonds alleged that Combs had paid people to physically assault Deal as retaliation for his public statements. Another bodyguard, Big Homie Double C, supported these claims during an interview with Piers Morgan. He recalled Combs encouraging people in his circle to confront and attack Deal, stating that these threats dated back as early as 2008 or 2009, well before the current legal issues began. According to Big Homie CC, Deal had long been speaking out about Combs' behavior, including rumors involving former partner Kim Porter and allegations involving other celebrities. At the time, Deal was not using social media platforms to share these claims. Instead, he allegedly spoke openly about them in community spaces, especially around Harlem. Their conversation also touched on unexplained health issues and deaths within Combs' circle. CC brought up the case of Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia at a young age. He questioned why so many people associated with Combs appeared to have similar medical conditions, particularly pneumonia, and why these incidents seemed to follow a concerning pattern. This theory extended to actor Jamie Foxx, who suffered a major health crisis in 2023 that led to months-long hospitalization. Although no official connection has been made, some online commenters have speculated that Foxx may have been poisoned. The rumors were amplified by a scene in Foxx's Netflix comedy special, where he described a near-death experience involving a tunnel vision episode. During that moment, he joked about seeing the devil, or possibly Puffy, at the end of the tunnel, which many interpreted as a thinly veiled reference to Combs. As public speculation continues, these stories have raised questions about how many people with knowledge of Combs' past might be at risk, and whether those willing to speak up will be protected. The discussion returns to Twitch, beloved by many for his joy, energy, and positivity. His death left a void that continues to be felt. But some now believe his final note was more than just a farewell. They claim it contained warnings that, if taken seriously, might have shed light on deeper problems within the industry. With Diddy's sentencing scheduled for October, the focus now turns to the outcome. Will the court impose the maximum sentence of 20 years for the two federal convictions? Or will a more lenient decision be handed down, despite growing concerns? For now, Combs remains in federal custody. The final decision is just months away, and many are still watching closely. Thanks for watching. Do you think Twitch's final voicemail truly exposed something deeper, maybe even involving Ellen? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and check out one of the 2 videos on your screen for more stories just like this.